Hello kitty queens and kitty beauties. I'm back at y'all with another video. So today's client video is going to be a little different because I'm going to be showing y'all the makeup application, and I'm also going to be including some of my favorite brushes that I like to use on my clients. So without further ado, we're just going to get started. So as y'all can see, I'm just going in and filling in her eyebrows, and to fill them in I'm using my Nicka K eyebrow pencil, and this one is in the shade Black. Whenever I'm filling in the brows, I like to outline them first just to make sure they're as even as possible. And then when I have them to my liking, I just go ahead and fill them in. And I like to start at the back and work my way to the front. For the front of the brows, I like to use a lighter eyebrow pencil. I believe this one is in the shade light brown, and I just like to do this so the eyebrows will have a nice little ombre effect. And then once I have it all filled in, I like to go over it again with my spoolie to break down some of the product. Now I'm taking some Derma Blend translucent powder, and I'm just using this to set / lighten the front of her brows. So as you can see, I'm just brushing them through, and once I have them set, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up her brows using my Nicka K concealer along with my LA Girl concealer. And I'm gonna be showing y'all what brush I use. I like to call this brush my concealer brush because I use it to clean up under the eyebrows, and I also use it to cut creases. I purchased this brush off of AliExpress. All the links on the brushes that I use will be in the description box down below. It's very affordable, and it comes with like 5 in a pack. So yeah, make sure y'all check out the description. But as you can see, it makes me have a nice and crisp line under the eyebrows. And the first concealer that I went in with was the Nicka K concealer because it's lighter, and y'all should already know if you watch any of my other videos, I like to use a lighter concealer under the eyebrows just to have that nice little highlighted effect. To buff the concealer out, I like to use these two type of brushes because they're very dense, and these come in a 50-piece set that I ordered off Amazon. Today I'm taking the flat shape one, and I'm just tapping this concealer in place. Now that I have the bottom nice and clean, I'm going to take that darker concealer, which was the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm just using it to clean up the top of her brows. For an eyeshadow base, I'm going to be using my Bperfect eyeshadow primer. And I'm just applying this all over her lids using the applicator that it came with. To blend out the base, I'm going to be using the same brush that I used to buff out the concealer around her eyebrows. The base is buffed out, we're going to be getting into eyeshadow, and this is the blending brush that I like to use when doing eyeshadow. As you can see, it's dual-sided, and I ordered this brush off AliExpress as well. I really love it. So as you can see, I'm just using it to tap my first eyeshadow shade on her eye, and the shade that I'm using is the brown shade from the Juvias Zulu palette. As you can see, I'm just starting by tapping this on the outer edge of her eye, and then as I build up my color, I'm going to work it towards the front of her eyebrows. For the next shade, I'm going to be referring back to these brushes, and I'm taking the round brush at the top, and I like to use it to pack on darker eyeshadow shades. So I'm taking a darker brown shade from my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just working it into her crease. I'm going to go back in with my dual-ended blending brush and just use it to blend out the edges. And once I have it blended, I'm going to pack a little bit more of that dark brown in her crease. I wanted this look to be nice and sultry, so I did go back in with my colors to make sure that I had it as deep as I wanted it to be. For her lid shade, I'm actually going to be using my finger to tap on the eyeshadow. If you want to, you can use the other end of that dual-sided blending brush, but I like to use my finger because it creates a nice gradient blend and it's just more pigment. Now I'm going back in with that blending brush, and I'm just using it to blend out the edge of the eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take the other end of that brush and just apply a lighter eyeshadow to the inner tear ducts of her eye. Next, I'm going to be lining her eyes using this angle brush. As you can see, I didn't type a description for it just because this brush is also included in the 50-piece set. So if you get the other brushes, you'll get this brush as well off Amazon. As you can see, I just dipped the brush in my gel liner, and I'm doing a straight line across her eye. Once the liner is on, I'm going to take my black eyeshadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette and use it to fade out the end. Moving on to the face, I'm taking some moisturizer and applying it to her skin. Then I'm going to go directly on top of it with some calamine lotion. I use any brush for this. It doesn't really matter. I just prefer mine to be flat and not too dense. For foundation, I'm going to be mixing these two Fit Me foundations, and first I'm going in with the lighter shade. I'm going to be applying this shade to the majority of her face just because, like I said, I'm mixing these two shades together to find her perfect skin tone, and she wasn't that dark, so I didn't want to mix too much of the darker foundation. So as you can see, I'm just taking this on most of her face. Then for any remaining areas, I'm just going to take the darker foundation and place it there. Now I'm just going to spray her face with my setting spray, and to blend out this foundation I'm going to be using this brush from Real Techniques. This brush doesn't have a name and I purchased it from Walmart. I tried to look for it online and I couldn't find it, but I think it's similar to their Instapot brush, so I'm going to have that brush in the description box for y'all so you can order it offline, or you could just go to the store and see if you can find this one. I know they have Real Techniques in Walmart, Target, pretty much any store. So as you can see, I'm just pressing this foundation into her skin. To further blend out this foundation, I'm going to be going over it with my Real Techniques sponge. You can also find this at Walmart or on their website. To highlight her face, I'm using my Nicka K concealer, and it's in the shade number 6. To contour her face, I'm using my Juvias Place foundation stick, and this one is in the shade Katsina. As you can see, I'm just dotting this along her forehead and on her cheekbones. While the highlight is sitting, I'm going to go ahead and blend out her contour using my Real Techniques sponge. And I like to use the same side of the sponge that I use for foundation, just so everything can blend seamlessly. Now I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the concealer using that same Real Techniques sponge. Once I've blended the concealer out with the sponge, I'm going to go over it with that foundation brush just to further blend out the edges. To set the highlighted areas of her face, I'm using my Fenty loose powder, and this one is in the shade Honey. I'm going to take some powder on the edge of my sponge and use it to sculpt out her nose. To set the contour areas of her face, I'm going to be using this angle brush, and y'all, I bought this brush from the dollar store a long time ago, and it doesn't have a brand name. I'm so sorry, but if you want it, you can just check out your local dollar store and see if they have it. It was only $1, of course, and it's like my favorite brush to set the contour with. And to set it, I'm using my black radiance pressed powder, and it's in the shade Rich Mahogany. Now I'm going to take that flat, dense brush from the 50-piece set, and I'm going to use it to contour her nose. Using that same angle brush, I'm going to be applying some blush to her cheeks, and this blush is from my Juvias Place of Hair and Blush palette. I like to mix the orange and the burgundy shade together. I lined her waterline off camera using a Q-tip. Now I'm going to go in with this Morphe brush, and I'm going to use it to sweep away all of the baking powder from her face. And I'm also going to be using this brush to highlight. To sweep away the powder, I'm using my Fit Me pressed powder, and it's in the shade Mocha. To highlight her face, I'm taking a shimmer eyeshadow from my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm having her smile just so I can find the apples of her cheeks, because that's where I like to apply the highlighter. And once that's finished, I'm going to go ahead and start on her lips. So since I'm doing a new lip for this look, I'm just going to line her lips with a dark brown lip liner first, and this will be an ombre lip, so I'm going to outline her lips first, then I'm going to go back in and fill in the edges using that dark brown lip liner. Before I applied the liquid lipstick, I went ahead and blended out her liner using this brush. This brush also comes in the 50-piece set, y'all, so make sure y'all get that set off Amazon because I love it. As you can see, I'm taking this new liquid lipstick and just focusing it in the center of her lips, and I like to have my clients smack their lips just to help me blend it out, and then I take whatever excess liquid lipstick is left on that brush and just apply it directly onto the liner. And once I have it all applied, I'm going to be going on top of this concoction with a clear gloss. Lastly, I'm just going to spray her face using some setting spray, and then we'll be getting into the grand reveal, so I'm just going to let y'all watch.
Okay, you ready to see?
So as y'all can see, this tutorial was another success, and these are the videos that I recorded on my phone. I hope you all enjoyed this beginner friendly tutorial. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for my next video. Bye bye.